Alright everyone, welcome back to some more of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. It's amazing how far we've come in this game, and now we're up to a point where we're about to learn some untold secrets about one of the trials involving Mr. McGildy. So I hope you all continue to enjoy watching, and let's keep it going. Alright guys, and we are back. So we're going to continue with conversing with Gina Lestrade over here. What you saw. You said McGildy made you swear not to tell anybody what you saw. But you were in the pitch black compartment under the seat the whole time, weren't you? Yes, with Mr. McGildy sitting above your head, if I remember correctly. Yeah, that's true, but it was when I heard the thud of the cove in the floor. I let out a little scream, see? Couldn't help it. McGildy heard that and dragged me out of my arm, and that's when I saw it. It was on the floor next to the old geezer would have been stabbed. A disc, all bright and shiny. Disc? Do you mean? Yeah, that's it. The one the deed took off me at Winterbanks. So the music box disc was there on the floor of the omnibus. Not for long, McGildy spotted it straight away. He picked it up smartish and stuffed it inside his pocket. So that disc was in the omnibus 2 months ago at the scene of Mr. Mason's murder? And the bog trotter told me I weren't to mutter a word of it to no one. Interesting. Because it was so dark under that seat in the cab, I was straining my ears the whole time. After a while, I heard the door and footsteps inside the cabin. Presumably, that was McGildy getting on board. Nah, not only him. Oh? Because I could definitely make out the footsteps of two people. In that case, it would seem likely that it was Mr. McGildy and the victim. Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. In his testimony during that trial, Mr. McGildy claimed he slept during the carriage ride. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with a fierce tiredness and I always succumb to it. And your own testimony, Gina, supported his. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring. Yeah, that weren't exactly true. Neither of them was asleep. I could hear him talking the whole time in low voices. What? What were they talking about? Sorry, I don't know. The sound of the horses and the wheels was too loud. But that still tells us something. Mr. McGildy and the victim knew each other. So McGildy was lying as I suspected. Well, we could tell that already. I knew it were going to take long before someone raised the alarm that Bloke had been killed. Yes, you were quite right. The other passengers on the roof deck noticed very quickly. So when the cab came to a stop, McGildy told me to hide back under the seat again. I climbed in and waited. The two coves from up top ran off to get the coppers. Yes, Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First. Right, and after they'd gone, McGildy asked the driver to do him a favor. A favor? Now then, fella, what I need you to do is take this coat of mine and deposit it with a nearby pawnbroker. And for your troubles, let's see now. Aye, I'll give you 10 Guinness. A nearby pawnbroker? You mean on Baker Street? Yep, you got it. It was Winterbanks. The coachee snapped up the money and ran off to pop this coat as fast as he could. So then there was no one left in the carriage. McGildy opened the box under the seat. And let me get out of there. But not without conditions. I see. What were McGilda's conditions then? For letting you go free, I mean. Not telling a soul, not for anything. About what I saw and what I heard. And there was something else as well. There's more? Yeah. This is the most important thing, he said. I'm after sending the coachman on a little errand for me, with some small change in his hand. Now then, did you hear what I asked of him? Did you see anything at all? You asked him to go pop your weasel, right? Aye. The fiend's taking me overcoat to deposit with a pawnbroker hereabouts. And I want you, lass, to take the redemption ticket for it. Do you understand? What? You want me to have the ticket? That's right. And I'll come fetch it from you later. Sometime within the next 2 months. I knew he faked his death! You're to hang on to it until then, is that clear? And whatever you do, don't lose it. Alright then. And in case I might happen to be delayed at all, you're to go to the pawn shop, win the bank so it is, and you're to extend the loan before the 2 months is up. If you forget, the article will be forfeited and any old fiend could come along and buy it. But I ain't got that kind of brass. Here's £5, that should be enough. Do we understand each other, lass? Don't try anything funny now if you go against me. Yeah, I get it. Good. And one more thing. In a few days from now, you'll be visited by the police, I have no doubt. The coppers? Aye. They'll come asking you to take the stand in court to testify as a witness. So let's just have a wee chat about that, shall we? What it is that you might say, and what it is that you won't. I had a feeling that was going on already. After he'd gone over it all, I piked it? Peeked it? Got as far away from there as I could. Hid the pawnbroker's ticket in some bushes near the scene. I went to fetch it the next day once it got dark. So McGilda planned it, and coerced Gina into giving false testimony. I bet you're ready to string me up, huh? I lied in that big old courtroom. I told some corkers. The thing is, he said he would make it so we couldn't live in the East End no more. That's what he threatened me with. What a wicked man. He knew everything. What went on in the back slums. He knew we'd had one to look after us and we was all just looking out for each other getting by together. So you mean Mr. McGilda would've? In an heartbeat, he could have had lots of us chased out of there if he'd wanted. And then where could we have gone, huh? Nowhere, that's where. So, I didn't have no choice. Thank you, Gina, for telling us everything. But I'm for it now, huh? Go on, admit it. You must be livid. Well, you can make amends by doing me a simple favor. A favor? What? Sign the representation papers for tomorrow's trial. If you don't actually want me to represent you in court, you can rip it up later. But we need that paperwork or we can't investigate. The police won't let us. Investigate what? The scene of the incident last night. Mr. Sholmes was shot, you see. You what? Hurley's having a big operation right now, Ginny. Is it bad? Is he gonna be alright? Sholmes is gonna be alright, right? That's why I want to investigate, for Mr. Sholmes' sake as much as anything. Right. So what you're saying is, if I sign that bit of paper, everyone's happy, is that it? Something like that. Mr. Sato? Yes, of course. I have the representation papers here. I don't need no one to stick up for me, though. No lawyer or nothing. Poor Ginny. She seems so lonely. Gina's representation papers have been entered into the court record. Well, at least this should mean we can investigate the scene at Winterbanks now. Yes, and perhaps we can come back to visit Gina when we're done here. I feel like we finally cracked Gina. She's opened up to us at last. And now I have her representation papers. No one else knows just what a responsibility that is. Anyway, for now, it means Inspector Gregson can't stop us investigating at Winterbanks. Although, something tells me he's not going to be happy about it. Okay, well, moving on to the next part then. April 16, 1:26 p.m., Winterbanks Pawnbrokery. Here we are again at the scene of the crime. Now to thrust these representation papers in Gregson's face and see what he makes of them. Hello again, Inspector. Do you have a minute, please? What is it now? You should go home and get some rest. Here you are, Gregsy. Here are the representation papers. Your ladyship! Wow! I don't believe it! How the devil did you get that stubborn little ragabash to sign that? I salute you. That is good work, that is. I can see you've been very, very busy here as well. How about some tea? It's a special blend designed to relieve fatigue. Here we go again. Ah, lovely. Well, let's see now. Yes, I hardly feel tired at all. I'm fit as a fiddle, your ladyship. Would it be alright if we investigated the scene of the crime then? Do as you please. You know where it happened? Through that door behind the counter. Yes, the storeroom. That's where I discovered Mr. Winterbank and Gina. Right, well, I'll be getting back to business then. Will you be investigating the storeroom as well, Mr. Inspector? If I'm perfectly honest, we need to wrap this up before long. Can't afford to spend too much time on it. But there are so many articles to go through, it's taking forever, even with the lads working around the clock. Which is a problem, because there's another case the yard needs to investigate urgently. That must be what Lord Strongheart meant by far more serious matters before. So what I'm saying is, don't get under my feet, sunshine. Come then, let's not waste any time. Okay, well, take a look around. The calendar looks a little messy. Ah, look here. Oh, it is worse than I thought. Looking at it from afar, it didn't look that bad, it just looked messy. Oh yes, a bullet hole, and I can see the bullet still lodged in the wall. Presumably, Mr. Winterbank wasn't practicing with his revolver in his spare time. Ah, well, Mr. Shumps likes to practice in his drawing room whenever he can. He's very patriotic like that. Sorry? It's all there in the Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, you know. Isn't that right, Iris? Ah, did I write something like that? Partly in jest, perhaps. In jest? Well, he doesn't do it often. It is quite a dangerous pastime. He doesn't do it often? He shouldn't even do it once. Forget that for now, Bruno. Let's examine this bullet. What's that around the bullet hole? Is it blood? A suspicious red stain on the calendar. Aha! I may well be able to help with that. What? There's nothing like the sight of blood to get the blood pumping, is there, Bruno? I have a feeling I'm not as bloody-minded as you, Iris. I'm afraid the sight of blood makes my blood run cold. There you have it, you see? When it comes to blood, we're all different types. Yes, what a scientific observation. So you need this. Oh no, what's that scary-looking thing? Hurley and I haven't actually come up with a name for it yet. But as soon as you see it in action, you'll understand what it does. Watch. Oh, it turned green. The color of the bloodstain has changed. There. Does it make sense now? Yes, I think I'm starting to understand. Good, it works on the principle that different people have different types of blood, you see. Yes, how wonderful! The chemical it fires combines with blood and makes it change color. So you can identify whose blood it is that you're looking at in a flash. Oh, what a fabulous invention, Iris. Isn't it? Isn't it? I bet Gina would say it's bleeding great. So, whose blood are we looking at then? Well, all the chemical does is turn the blood a different color, so... Just find someone whose blood turns the same color and you'll know who it belongs to. In a flash! It's more like 2 flashes really, isn't it? 1 flash or 2, this could well turn out to be a very valuable clue. So we must make a note of it in the court record. Blood samples portfolio. Let's keep testing and adding the results of any other blood analysis to the portfolio. As long as I have region left, sure. Alright, let's check out the Stereoscope. That is that strange contraption that lets you see pictures of things as if they're right in front of your eyes. It makes you think when Mr. Shums gleefully showed it to us yesterday. We were blissfully unaware that any of this was about to happen. These shelves are where the pawnbroker put articles that have been forfeited on display for customers to buy. Yes, it's really strange miscellany, isn't it? I mean, who would buy the horse statue for example? Well, sometimes you can find some real treasures among all the junk, you know? Are you alright, Runo? Oh, it's just... Well, it looks like a collection of useless junk as a whole, but when you pick out individual things, you can't help wishing you owned them. Even that horse statue. That's exactly how the pawnbroker works. They're very clever. Alright, what else can I look at here? That's a music box. Do you have them where you come from, Runo? Yes, but I've never seen one as large as this in Japan. Oh, well, this would be a treat. Shall we have a listen? What do you think? Isn't it a pretty sound? It's a beautiful sound, yes, but it's a little hard to enjoy when all the policemen in the room are giving you fierce looks. Never mind that. If any of them say anything, I'll tell Gracie to have a word. Iris Wilson, Superintendent of Scotland Yard. Okay. Where else can we look? There's the article ledger here and Mr. Winterbank's notes and... What's this? It looks as though someone has left a little photographic print behind. Oh look, on the back. There's some writing. Is there? Ooh, show us, Susie, show us! 15th February, 10:30 p.m. Article deposited, 1 gentleman's overcoat. Loan amount paid, £1. Redemption deadline, 15th of April, 10:30 p.m. A gentleman's overcoat pawned for £1? Clearly it was a very fine coat. In fact, I think... Yes, this must be the ticket for the overcoat that Jeannie redeemed yesterday. And is still wearing, which belonged to McGilden. I would never have expected the redemption ticket to be handwritten on the back of a photograph, though. It seems Mr. Winterbank just used whatever piece of paper he happened to have to hand. But that photograph of a cat, it looks very familiar, doesn't it? I'm sure I've seen this exact picture somewhere else recently. Yeah, it's the one Ginny gave us. Oh, yes, you're right. Very recently. It's the same as the one Ginny gave us earlier. Boom. Of course, I was forgetting that she gave us that print. Well, what are you waiting for then, Mr. Naruhodo? Get it out. Alright, let the cogs turn. Yes, they are exactly the same. Well, if the one on the counter was used as a redemption ticket, perhaps the other photograph that Gina gave us has something written on the back too. I got it. These two photographs hide an amazing secret. A secret? What does she mean? You must tell us, Iris, at once. Do you really want to know? Yes, we need you to tell us all you know about this pair of photographs. Alright, before that. Behind that door is the storeroom, isn't it? That's what Griggsy said? Yes, and that's where I saw that dreadful scene last night. Through the little window in the door. Mr. Winterbank faced down the floor with Gina beside him. As the accused legal representative, you have the right to examine the scene, Mr. Naruhodo. You must make a thorough investigation. Yes, of course, and we will. Behind that door, that's the real scene of the crime. Don't worry, if there are clues in there, I'll find them. Alright, let me talk to this girl. She had something she wanted to tell us about the pair of photographs. So Iris, about these two photographic prints. The one we found here on Mr. Winterbank's counter and the one Gina gave us before. What is this amazing secret you mentioned that's hidden between these two identical prints? Actually, that's not quite right. Sorry? If you look carefully, the two prints aren't the same. Not exactly. They're not? Have another look at them now. I feel like the right one, the cat's head is facing front. This one is turned a little bit. I'm trying to think if there's any differences I'm not noticing here. Any differences with the snowman? No? No, everything else seems the same, except again, the head is turned. Here it's front, here is back. Not back, but tilted a bit. Can you see that they're slightly different from each other? I think so. It's very subtle, though. But what's the reason for the subtle difference between the two prints? Ah, well, it's because they're set, you see. No, I don't. This pair of photographs is meant to be used in a stereoscope. Everyone in London is raving about them at the moment. Ah, a stereoscope. Why do I feel as though I've heard that word before recently? Oh, yes! That's what Mr. Shum showed us yesterday. You see, there it is, just over there. Ah, yes, of course. That magical machine that makes pictures look almost real enough to touch. Well, actually, it's quite possible to see the same depth in pictures even without one of those contraptions. What, really? Do you know how a pair of flat photographic prints can appear to have any depth in the first place? No, I have no idea. Oh, wonderful, then I'll be able to tell you. She's over the moon, bless her. Should we let her explain though? We really need to carry on investigating the scene. I, for one, simply have to know. Oh, of course. Oh, my gosh. Why not? Have you ever considered, Bruno, how our eyes see depth in the world around us? Well, I just opened them, and it works. But the reason it works is because we have two eyes. Two eyes. Shocking. If you try closing just one eye at a time, I think you'll see straight away. What you see with your left eye and what you see with your right are ever so slightly different. You get a different view with each eye. Yes, the position of objects seems to shift slightly, Exactly. And in your head, your brain uses that shift to estimate depth as it merges the two views into one. That's how we can sense depth in everything we see. My brain really is amazing, isn't it? It does so much without telling me. I think I see. So the pair of photographs consist of a left eye view and the right eye view. Is that right? Oh, well done, Susie. You're so quick. So, if you can persuade your brain to merge the two pictures together in your head, you'd be able to see depth in these prints. Yes, Bruno, you're beginning to understand. And a stereoscope's function is to act as your brain and allow you to do just that. Yes, but as long as you have two images, two eyes, and one brain, you can actually do it yourself without needing a stereoscope at all. You can? Really? Let's try it. Let's see if you can view this pair of prints without the help of a stereoscope. Oh yes, I'm dying to have a go. Sato-san really loves this kind of thing. You need to be able to cross your eyes, that's the main thing. Can you both do that? Cross my eyes? I think I can. Watch me. And see if you can copy. Oh my gosh. Make your eyes do this. Alright. Let me try. Are you ready, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh my gosh. It's so weird. There, how's that? Wonderful, now it's your turn, Bruno. The trick is to concentrate on looking at the bridge of your nose with both eyes at the same time. Not exactly an easy task when two people are staring at you cross-eyed. Alright, that's enough practice. Now let's try looking at the prints. Start by staring at one print and slowly crossing your eyes. You should see two overlapping images like this. You try it now, Bruno. I'm just gonna have to give it a try, I suppose. Did the print split into two images for you? Now the next step is to put the pair of prints side by side like this, and then to try crossing your eyes again. The print should slowly merge together until they form a new single image in the center. Oh, yes! Mr. Naruhodo, it works! I can see it in the middle now! It looks so real, I could look at it all day. I wouldn't advise that, your eyes might start to hurt. Your turn, Bruno. Pretend you're looking through the two pictures and slowly cross your eyes. Keep adjusting the position of your eyes until the two images overlap exactly in the middle. Like, this is it. There, you managed it. So now you know how stereoscopic images work. Well, I don't know who discovered it, but it really is quite extraordinary. So what do you think of these stereoscopic prints then, Bruno? They're certainly amazing, but it isn't easy to get the knack of viewing them properly. No, some people find it easier than others. But that's why contraptions like this exist, for people who find it tricky. Oh, I recognize that. We saw one over there yesterday, didn't we? If I remember correctly, you press this little knob here, then set the pair of photographs in this stand at the back end. It's still amazing even though I know roughly how it works now. Well, London seems to agree with you. Stereoscopes are very popular at the moment. Alright guys, I'm going to have to end the video here for today. Thank you all for watching. This has been a very interesting part of this game so far, especially when it asks you to cross your own eyes to see the overlapping images. So guys, thank you again. Until the next one.